Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here. Well, if you follow my channel at all for any length of time, you know that occasionally when I'm doing these campaigns in Ultimate General Civil War, I like to go back and revisit battles that I've already fought, just to try an alternate strategy and see what may happen. I'm primarily not necessarily wanting to redo Gaines Mill, since I feel like that went pretty well the first time. But I'm going to go ahead and revisit that and Malvern Hill as well. I've done Malvern Hill. I haven't actually uploaded it yet because it went... I mean, I won, but I wasn't real happy with how it went, and I've got a very drastically different strategy that I'm going to try here, and I'll probably upload both together. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to play through kind of cautiously, try to minimize my casualties. And then I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Malvern Hill without building up my army to the maximum. Because if you saw the end of my Gaines Mill video, you know I built up my army with a lot of green recruits that had farmer muskets, which we know are not very good. And that just caused the enemy troop numbers to just drastically increase because they were scaled. So I'm thinking maybe going in with a smaller army to keep his numbers down, but using a smaller but more efficient army, and then building up my army after the Battle of Malvern Hill might be the way to go. So I'm going to give that a try, and then we can kind of compare the two and see what happens. So I'll jump in and out as the situation warrants, just to show some of the highlights of this battle, and then we'll go right into Malvern Hill and do the same thing. So all I'm doing in Phase 1 of this battle, there's 3 phases to the Battle of Gaines Mill. Phase 1, I'm getting my troops into position. I'm going all the way down here, and I'm going to try hitting him from this side. I don't know how well this is going to go because this is muddy terrain. It's going to be tough to move through, and it's going to be tough to attack him this way. But I'm trying something different. And normally the attack, we just go right down over this hill here and hit him in the fortifications. So I'm going to hit him from both flanks because I'll get my other side coming up here, and I'll bring them in there on Phase 2. And we'll see how it goes. It may not work out real well, but I thought I'd try something different. Alright, so we're into Phase 2 here. We're still getting into position. I'm bringing my army all the way down here, and I'm going to try to come up from this side. He started firing on my artillery a little bit. I took 18 casualties in the very first volley that he fired. He's moving some skirmishers in. He thought about moving Farnsworth cavalry. I guess those are mounted infantry troops in. It does look like he's thinking about advancing with a brigade here. I'm going to bring this one brigade of infantry up just to support all of these skirmishers, because I'm a little concerned he's going to charge across here with one of his infantry brigades and try to hit my batteries. It's taking a while to get these guys into position, obviously, because of the slow-moving terrain. I'm going to come all the way down about as far as I can down to the south of the map here. Haven't gotten my second wave of troops yet, but the attack's basically going to wait until the last phase of the battle. I think I'll keep one more infantry brigade up here. 2 should be enough to keep him occupied. So we'll jump in if anything happens, but for the most part I'm probably just going to be sitting here until it's time to launch my attack when my other side comes in. So it looks like he brought a brigade down here. He started firing on my skirmishers, so I had to bring up a couple brigades. We're going to try to deal with him as best I can. Tenacious Danes and the Snakefoot Brigade are going to deal with him. I think they should be able to handle him pretty well. Going to continue to get these folks into position. I just now got my second corps starting to arrive on the field. And I'm issuing just some starting orders to them to get them to start moving down into position. I'm just going to try to deal with Bartlett here and then continue my quest to come up from the rear. Once I get past all this muddy, swampy area, I'll be able to be more effective. So with about 34 minutes to go in Phase 2 of this battle, I've got my troops just about into position to launch the attack. I'm bent kind of around here. I'm going to make the thrust up here. My plan is to take this objective here and this one over here to win the battle. I'm just going to leave this one alone for now. So I've got my second corps up here in a position. I'm just going to hold them in these woods and slowly push these skirmishers out. And then I'll make the thrust down in for the objective at the beginning of Phase 3. Okay, Phase 3. We're down to the last 2 hours of fighting. And I'm going to try to sit here in these woods for a few minutes and see if I can't gang up on a couple of these brigades from the woods. And I'll slowly push my way. I'm going to have to deal with a whole lot of artillery coming from this way. He's got all of his artillery lined up over there. It looks like so far this side's going to be a little easier. I don't know if he's moving everybody the other direction or what's happening here, but I'm just not seeing much in the way of troop numbers on this side. I'll go ahead and bring up some of these skirmishers. Keep a couple units of skirmishers back here just to protect the guns. Baird, you need to stop running. Same with Tenacious Stain. Stop running up the hill. Take our time. We're going to be going into some artillery fire here. I'm going to actually hold the Tenacious Stains back. I don't want them to be the first ones into the face of that artillery. So I'm basically fighting two separate battles here. I'm going to bring Bates over and hit Taylor in his flank. I need to get up into these woods. I gotta hit this artillery. It's just gonna be a nightmare for me. I wonder if I can swing around over here. Maybe that's the thing to do. More troops arrive to press the attack, and by more troops they mean more artillery. That's about all I got. Secured objective number 1. Much easier than I expected it to be. This artillery is a nightmare for me right now, though. We've got to clear these guys out. I'm going to pause for just a second. Maher's going to get lit up if I keep him there too long. I'm wondering if... Alright, I got to be cautious here because these guys might get hit in their flank. I'm wondering if the thing to do here is to either swing around or maybe even bring some of these troops over and just take it that way. It's a long march, and it's uphill, but it might be the thing to do. Because I've probably got more than I need over here at this point. So we'll start swinging over that way a little bit. I gotta deal with this battery and drive them off. I gotta be cautious here. Oh yeah, especially because Newton's a much bigger brigade than Hicks. Alright, we dealt with him just because I got on every side of him. So I'm sending Kirk in just to kind of rescue Hicks from complete disaster. There we go. But I think I'm going to go ahead and pull back over here. And I'm going to focus on trying to take the objective from this side. Maybe even come up and surprise these guns. I'm definitely going to need more infantry support to make that happen, though. You can see he's shifting everybody over here this way now. I got to bring some infantry up just this way, just to draw some of these guys off. Oh good, my skirmishers and my cavalry have finally arrived. That actually might come in really handy in trying to swing around over here. But honestly, for the most part, I'm just going to use this second corps as a distraction. Yikes. Okay, let's pause for a second here because My skirmishers got there first, and they're going to run into a bit of a scrape if I don't go ahead and advance with these guys. I got to keep pressure on him on both sides, or else I'm going to get overwhelmed. Same with these guns. He's starting to move his guns, which takes off the pressure from these guys. Let's reattach those skirmishers. Alright, so I'm going to kind of advance this slowly. I'm going to do a little bit and then pause, a little bit and then pause. I need these guys just to keep them honest and keep them from moving. Alright, we've got McGee Hill, but I don't think I can hold it based on what I have at the moment. Alright, let's pause again. Those skirmishers, there was no way they were going to hold that just by themselves. Bring these guns a little closer. I got to get these guys moving. A lot of these units, there's no way I'm going to be able to get them into position in time to be of any assistance in the last hour. But I think these two brigades, two of my elite brigades coming up, are going to be able to be enough to help me hold this. I got more artillery coming too. They'll never make it in time to help though. Back Quinn up. Alright, here we go. It doesn't seem to be having the desired effect with these brigades. We have to move up a little closer still. Got an hour to go. Just going to pause for a second, evaluate everything, take a look at the casualties. Looks like he's lost about 2,600 men. I've lost about 1,800 so far. So it's definitely going to be a much lower casualty battle this time. I'm going to back some of these guys off. Yeah, Morgan's going to take some major casualties, but it's having the desired effect. I was trying to keep these brigades from getting over here to help reinforce, and that seems to be working. Ooh, ouch. Okay, there's artillery. That's alright, we just need to get a couple volleys into those artillery pieces. Get them to back off. They can't fire on both sides at the same time, so I'm going to move these guys up. Pause again. I just got to keep evaluating. Okay, there's supplies down here. That is your job. Go grab those supplies. I'll send both cavalry units down. Should be able to hold here. Let's back these skirmishers out. Come on, get out of there, guys. Get out of there. Yeah, they got routed. Alright, we're just going to hold these 2 brigades right there. And we grabbed one of the supplies. Now I need to grab the other. Don't you fire. There you go. Alright, you know what? Let's just run down here. There's 40 minutes to go. Because he's sending Taylor after me, but I think I should be safe. "36 minutes left to make sure we've got all the objectives to win. At least one must be fulfilled. We did that. All must be fulfilled. We did that. We're good. I just want to hold these supplies and hold the position. Alright, looks like everybody's kind of routing over there. He's sending some skirmishers down trying to get these supplies back. Not going to work. Alright, that should be pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and drop out, and I'll come back if anything significant happens. Otherwise, we'll just show the final totals. Alright, let's take a look at the final here. So that time around, inflicted, by the time you figure the artillery, looks like pushing 6,000 casualties, and took out 40 guns. I lost about half that, a little over 3,000 casualties. Not bad at all. Definitely lost less than I lost last time. You don't see a lot by the way of captured guns. We do have the captured supplies, which is nice. Just a couple of guns here and there. Mostly the artillery is what I captured that worked out really nice. So we'll go ahead and see how that affects things going into Malvern Hill now. So, as I mentioned, the plan here is going to be to actually go in with a smaller, more efficient force into Malvern Hill rather than jumping up the numbers and going in with a maximum force and causing him to do the same in the process. So, when I maxed out my army for Malvern Hill, that pushed him up over 40,000. He's at 31 right now with 141 guns. So, I'm going to see if I can be a little bit more efficient with this. Right now, I've got about 25,000 men. So I'm going to be outnumbered regardless, it looks like. So I don't know if... Yeah, we don't quite get to the max brigade size that I want right now. So there's not a lot of point to going too much into army organization. Though I will want that moving forward. So I'm going to go 1 there now. I'll do 2 after this next battle. I'll put the other one into politics.
Yes, sir.
So then what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take an efficient force if I can. I just want to see... In fact, I'm going to go ahead and save it first before I do anything else. So what I want to see here is I want to see exactly how much he scales by for every unit that I put in to see at what point it becomes counter effective. So he's got 31.6 right now. So if I add $457 there, I can't do that, and $275 there. So basically we're adding about, I don't know, 1,200 troops here. I added 1,200. Let's see what it does to him. Just one of those interesting little things here. So he was at 31.6. He went up by 1,400 when I added 1,200 to mine. So it closes the gap as far as the percentage advantage that he has. But he's still adding more troops than I am. So Let's try this one more time. We're going to add 400 there. $900 there. That's another 1,300. And that's another 1,000. So there's another 2,300. And now he's at 35.4, so he's added 2,400. So he's basically increasing at the same rate that I am, but what I'm adding are basically troops that aren't that good, and he's getting more men. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll go back to my save. I'm only going to add troops that are well-equipped, not reboard farmers, maybe not even the ones with Springfield 1842s, maybe only the best-equipped troops, and maybe I'll just add some guns. And we'll see what happens. Let's just experiment with this for a second. If I add 13 guns, let's see if it adds to his total. So he's got 141. I don't remember what he had. Let's do it one more time. He's got 141 now. We add 24 there. We add 9. Let's see if he goes up around 150. No, he stayed at 141, so maybe artillery is the way to go here. Efficient troops that have good weapons, and then artillery. So maybe that's the way I'll go. I'll try a couple of builds. We'll come back and see what that looks like, and then we'll dive into Malvern Hill. All right, so let's talk through what I've done. Number one is I have gone ahead and actually, I want to let you know I did make the change that you requested. It is not John Brown's Barkers. You are now the Coffin Cutters instead, going into this alternate reality from the last time I played through these couple of battles. Also, I have not added any new troops that were not equipped. Actually, I didn't create any new infantry brigades. I only used what I already have, and I equipped them with better weapons. So, for example, any unit that had farmers or reboard farmers, I replaced them at the very least with 1842s, if not better. The only units I gave additional troops to were the ones that had better weapons than the 1842s. So some of these numbers, sorry for those of you who might be a little OCD about even numbers for units going into a battle. I didn't want to add any troops to any of those units. I am going to go through and make one change here. I've also tried to upgrade my leadership to make sure I have at least colonels in command of all of my infantry brigades. I've added a bunch of new artillery units. So that's the only place where I added new units. So you can see everybody, except for the occasional one like right here, Maher's got reboard farmers. But most of them now, we've got Harper's Ferries, 1842s, 1841. So everybody's got at least that, except for just a couple of units here. Palmetto's there. O'Hare's Ohio Outlaws have made their reappearance, and we've got MJ and G Type 2 for them right now, now that they're up to 2 stars. And then eventually we'll work our way up with these other ones. There's one more unit with reboard farmers, but that's it. I upped my cavalry back up to 750, but let me show you what this looks like going into Malvern Hill. When I played my other version of Malvern Hill, where I had maxed out my army as big as possible, and probably half of those units were farmers and reboard farmers, so very weak weapons, a lot of them being led by majors because I was out of leaders, so I had 1,500 men in units led by majors. What I went into the battle with was 43,000 men and 75 guns up against his 47,000 men and 141 guns. So I was outnumbered by about 4,000, but a big chunk of my force were very weak, very inefficient units. And I still only had 75 guns. So this time what I've done is instead focus on efficiency, good weapons, good leaders, smaller. And so I will be taking in 31,497 and 108 guns versus his 36,000. So the number of men more than me that he has is about the same. Obviously, it's a higher percentage, bigger because of the smaller numbers. But I have 33 more guns than I had in the other one, and the troops I do take in are much better. So I think I'm going to fare better. I think there's going to be fewer casualties, but I think it's going to be more even. So we'll dive into it, and we'll see how it compares. But I'll do that on another video. This one's been long enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and upload this first. Then I'll go ahead and upload my original Battle of Malvern Hill, which I do not like how that turned out. That was with the bigger army. And then we'll come back probably tomorrow with the revisit of Malvern Hill with this army and see how it fares. So just some comparisons, give you an idea of what it looks like. As always, I welcome your input, your thoughts, your questions, your observations. You guys are fantastic with the feedback. If I don't reply, it's only because sometimes I get a lot of comments and I don't always keep up with them. But I do read every single one of them, so please know that. And please don't be offended if I don't reply. Just sometimes I have a lot going on with my other job, and I can't always do that. So I'll try to get to those when I can. In the meantime, if you'd hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you again very soon.